Welcome back, folks, and good morning and a happy Thanksgiving to everyone who's watching this today. Otherwise, I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to my channel. Quick shout out to Tic Tac and Undertaker from my global. They requested this video on Relics. I'm not a super knowledgeable player, but I thought this might be a unique video to make since I have every relic in the game. Not every relic and every rarity, but I have at least some version of every relic at some rarity or another. Not all awakened, but I've got some awakened. I've got some duplicates of a 3-star versus a 4-star, so we could look at the difference in how powerful they are versus one another. So I thought I'd be able to give kind of a unique perspective on some of their abilities, and you could do some comparisons and such. But I will do my best to do some explanations on them, on where they can be used, what you can use them for, and what the resources, where you can obtain the resources to rank and level up the runes, what even a rune is, and so on and so forth. So we'll kind of dive in and go through these. So quick, broad, overarching notes. The relics do have a class tied to them. Obviously, a Storm is going to be a mutant, a Scarlet Witch is going to be a mystic, and so on and so forth. The relics, to be able to be tied to a champion, are class locked. You can only tie a mutant to a mutant, or a tech to a tech, or a skill to a skill. Excuse me. So that's something to keep in mind. For example, Hulkbuster has some awesome shock, shock effectiveness boosts, and I immediately was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to put this on Black Widow Deadly Origin because she's an absolute shock machine. And then realized, well, Hulkbuster Relic is a tech relic, and Black Widow Deadly Origin is a skill champion, so they do not mate very well. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking of your champions and looking at the abilities and what they can do. You can only tie it to a champion that matches the class. Where you can use them. This was a little bit disappointing to me. Something that Kabam invested so much to roll into the game and bring into the fold was very disappointing that you couldn't use it in all aspects of the game. However, it is understandable. It can be kind of game breaking in places. The relics are pretty remarkable in terms of what you can do with them in terms of getting into a super long combo, keeping a champion stun locked, because once you use the relics ability, or the striker ability as it used to be called in the kind of preliminary beta, you throw a stun on the champion for about a second that you can roll into another 5-hit combo or drop a special on them. So there's a lot you can do with it that in certain content you could really cheese a lot of stuff. And so I don't know if it is more of a permanent lockout where that's, hey, this is too great an ability that's going to make the content too easy for you to clear. We still want the content to be challenging. Or if it is simply a rolling out in baby steps to ensure it works before rolling it out to other aspects of the game. So I'm not sure where Kabam is. There might be a post. I'm not as well versed as Rich the Man and some of the bigger YouTubers that are able to do all the research and look at the forums and look at all the posts. So I apologize at not having like all the information at my fingertips. This is more like a podcast of what's going on inside my head, where I'm just kind of telling you my thoughts and ideas and speculations. So don't necessarily take anything I say as written in stone gospel here. I'm just kind of spitballing my ideas. Anyway, not to talk too long. So story quest, unfortunately, you cannot use it in story. As you can see, there's little icons there, a little hexagon with a red line through it. That means you cannot use relics in this content. So story quest is out, as you can see. The side quest you can. I have been actively using the relics in the side quest. Eternity Pain, unfortunately, as you can see, there's your icon right there. You cannot use it in Eternity of Pain. Battlegrounds, you can use it in Battlegrounds. You can use it in side quest. Incursions and Alliance quest I have not tested, so I do not know specifically if you can use it there. Excuse me. Special quests, I don't imagine you'd be able to use it here. At least not Abyss, but it looks like you can use it in the Road to the Labyrinth of Legends, and the Realm of Legends. So that's interesting. Only Abyss you are locked out from the relic. So that's kind of cool. If you still need to do the labyrinth to get that 5-star Labtron, you looks like you can bring relics in. So that might change that whole mechanic in that game with Aegon. Might be nice. Might have something that benefits Aegon that makes that a little faster, a little easier. Maybe some sort of fury potency or something. Anyway, arenas. It looks like arenas are a little choosy. The summoner trials, you can see up in the upper left that there is the icon for no relics, but the featured and basic and catalyst clash basic looks like relics are open season. So that's interesting. It's not a broad mode lockout. It's they're kind of choosy on where you can use it. Anyway, let's dive into the relics themselves. In a nutshell, as far as getting the relics and making them more powerful, you have two resources to increase the rank and level of your relics, just like champions. You have embers and you have alloys. Embers are your ISO equivalent, and alloys are your catalyst equivalent. Now, the unique thing about the relics is for champions, you have to use the ISO to get the champion to a maximum level before you're able to rank them up to the next rank. And then once they're at the next rank, you have to then level them up using ISO to the maximum level, and then so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. For relics, you don't need to level up using the embers, the ISO equivalent. You can rank a relic up straight from rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3 using the alloys without ever touching the embers and leveling up, the level up component of the relic, which I thought was really kind of cool and really interesting. Um, so as you can see, let's dive into Hulk, for example. See, up in the upper left, you have the relic itself, and then down below you have an ability slot, which is a rune. You see the rune is level 10, and the relic is rank 1. But let's back out. Let's go to a Hulkbuster Hulkbuster as an example. Juggernaut? Yeah, let's go to Juggernaut. Excuse me. So Juggernaut, as you can see, is only level 1. We can upgrade the slot from level 1 to level 10, but if we wanted to rank up Juggernaut, we could. If we had one more tier 1 basic alloy, we could rank him up. And then what that will do is that will unlock this rune to go not from 1 to 10, but it'll allow you to go from 1 to 20. And if I were to take him straight up to rank, well, you can't take a 3-star to rank 3. You can only take it to rank 2. But a 3-star, if I were to, or excuse me, if I were to take up a 4-star up to rank 3, your rune would then be able to go to rank level 30. So you don't have to wait on one resource to do the other. You can level them up as much as you want up to the maximum level per rank, or you can rank up all the way to the top and just have those 30 levels or 20 levels respectively on a 3-star available for you to just level up. So if I ranked without leveling, you would see a 1 out of 30 here instead of a 1 out of 10, and then you could level those up completely, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, let's talk about binding and unbinding. So once you have your character leveled up, you like their abilities, you can link them up to a champion that makes sense, for what the relic will do. So for example, Hulkbuster up here has an ability. Inflict a shock vulnerability debuff, increasing the potency of shock effects by 1.36% for 12 seconds. So okay, cool. He helps you out with shock in a nutshell. I'm not going to really think of the numbers or do the math. I just, in my head, shock. Cool. All right. Makes my shock better. A little bit. So I want to link him to someone who does shock. For example, Silver Centurion. And then you have the runes down here. So the runes offer an additional benefit. Shock repulsors, the next shock debuff gains 13.6 duration and 13.6 potency with a 25-second cooldown versus excuse me, versus the Hulk inhibitor. While you have 3 shock effects on the opponent, inflict a suppression passive lowering combat power rate. So you have a little bit of power control, or you can increase the potency of your shocks and the duration of your shocks. You can go between the abilities, choose which one that makes the most sense for you, depending on the champion you have in mind to put it on that might benefit them the most. And then that will allow you to choose the right rune. Now, the one piece I did want to cover that I thought was great that Kabam did, that they really could have gone another direction and we wouldn't have been able to do anything about, is they could have made it such where, let's say I have the shock repulsors selected and I then level up my shock repulsors. They could have then, um, let's say you wanted to use the Hulk inhibitors later on, they could have had those require their own little level up, which would have really sucked, would have probably pissed a lot of people off. But I did want to make it clear that leveling up the rune at all applies to every ability within the rune. So you don't have to level up everything individually. You can level up the rune itself, and you'll get the benefits applying to both. Both of these are leveled up and have access to, the higher level of the rune itself, which is very nice. Um, let's see. Excuse me. So, that is the rune leveling up, which is kind of nice. I said I was going to cover the binding, so let's go to that. Let's go to Hulkbuster, and let's actually walk through. Maybe Hulkbuster is not a super great example. Let's go to Scarlet. Let's go to Black Panther, just for the heck of it. We'll check this out. So Black Panther right now, the last hit grants a cruelty buff, increasing critical damage rating by 13.85 over 10 seconds, and he gets guaranteed critical hits, or guaranteed critical hits grant 2.04 flat critical damage rating on critical hits for the rest of the fight. Max hits 4.88. And then his rune ability, guaranteed critical hits deal a burst of 25.12. And the other rune is opponent critical resistance. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I have my Black Widow in a quest, so all this is locked. I can't do anything. So let's back out, and let's go to someone who isn't in a quest right now. Let's do Ant-Man. Sorry about that. So anyway, Ant-Man, last hit inflicts a power sting. His various runes, power sting potency, power sting duration, or opponent attack, reduce opponent attack damage. So let's say I wanted to unbind this and utilize the power sting, because right now on Hulk, power sting doesn't really benefit Hulk Immortal. That's why I have the special attack damage down, just a little measly little bump on the special attack damage from the enemy, less than 1%, not really that huge. Excuse me. So let's unbind it. As you can see, the total unbound cost is free. Okay, all right, awesome, that's cool. I'll unbind it. So now that frees me up to put it on someone else. Let's put the relic. I was going to put it on someone else, but unfortunately it went right back onto Hulk. It didn't give me the option to select the champion, so I'm kind of disappointed in that. I just wasted that. But let's go back into the unbind so I could at least show you. So prior to that, you saw my cooldown was 3 days and change. Now my cooldown is 4 days and change. There is a cost associated with unbinding the characters from the champions if you want to do it too often. This prevents people from going into a quest, using it on the champion, having the champion die, pulling it off, throwing it on a different champion. Although they address that directly with locking it because the champion was in a quest, as you saw on Hulkbuster. But still, maybe you get out of the quest, you want to do it somewhere else. It doesn't want you flip-flopping the relics around like crazy, so they kind of put in an element to prevent you from doing that. But still give you some breathing room to play around with champions and test the runes and different things without having it cost any units. And still can always be free so long as you have patience. So Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, through up to Tier 6 is free. You can basically unbind 6 times for free without any cost. And then the 7th unbound will be 20 units. And guys, I'm sorry for the swallowing and the sniffling. I've got a bit of a cold, so my throat, my voice isn't the best, and I do talk a lot. So I apologize for any kind of that weird little background noises that my mic might be picking up. So do excuse me for all that. Anyway. So if I want to unbind a champion a few more times, it's going to start costing me units, which is fine. As you can see, the unit cost reduces to tier 5 in 4 days. You know what, let's just do it. Let's just burn a bind. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna bind it to, I wanted to do Wasp because she actually let's see, what is it? Power Sting. Spider Ham has some great power stings. I'm gonna throw it to him. I think Spider Ham has great power stings. I feel like he throws them on. Again, my champion knowledge isn't fantastic, so I apologize. Let's put it on Spider Ham and confirm. We'll bind the relic up. And there we go. And now we might be able to see an unbind cost. Okay, as you can see now, we've got an unbind cost of 20 units. Sorry guys, my little man just woke up. Hey baby boy. Hey baby boy. You want to say good morning to YouTube? Alright. Hopefully my son is in a good mood and wants to continue this video with us. You want to say hi, Nathan? Huh? Anyway, so you can see we've got an unbind cost of 20 units now. Our unit unbind cost reduces to tier 6 in 4 days, 23 hours, and 58 minutes. So that's that element, how that works. So you can unbind for free to a degree or indefinitely so long as you have patience. But if you want to keep swapping them out and trying them out with different champions, it is going to cost you a bit of units. Nothing terrible. Nothing you can't grind out in arena in a little bit. Or, nothing Uncle Wallet Warrior can't bring to the rescue. But that's the unbind element. We covered the runes. We covered the rank up. We covered the leveling up. We covered, what alloys are versus what embers are, the catalyst version and ISO version respectively. We covered where the content, what content you can use the relics in. What we didn't cover is where you can get embers and alloys primarily. Embers and alloys primarily are going to be a battlegrounds component. That's where you're going to see all of your shards and all of your shards. Okay, so shards are where you get, battleground rewards are where you get the shards. So that's where you're going to start getting your actual relic team. But as far as the embers sorry guys, my son is being very active at the moment. Excuse me. Okay, so I thought that the relics were going to be mainly in battlegrounds. Oh, the battleground store is where you can get excuse me. You can get the alloy fragments and you can get alloy fragment crystals. But as you see, there are no embers here. It's just going to be more crystal shards and alloys. Embers you can find in Glory, I believe. Nope, still just alloys. Gotcha. Okay, so embers you're going to find from duplicating your relics. And I'm sorry this video is taking a while. Usually I'm a bit more streamlined, but I'm not really a morning person. I just woke up. Got a couple distractions coming my way now. So I'm trying to keep it quick and relatively straightforward. But in a nutshell, you're going to get your shards to get new relics from Battlegrounds milestones, which will allow you to duplicate your relics in order to give you the embers to level up your runes. And you can get the alloys from the Battlegrounds store and from the Glory store. I don't believe the Loyalty store contains anything related to alloys and embers. No, nothing here. Whoops. They did give some rank up bundles that I did get. I had to pick those up because I was super excited about Relics, wanted to try them out. So, you're going to see offers that you can grind out units for, or, just buy units and knock it out if you're not free to play. Um, but that is where you can get the relics. The last thing I wanted to cover that I haven't covered, I talked about having every relic in the game. So if you guys wanted to see all of their abilities, this video is already running at 20 minutes. I think I might be at the end of most of your guys' patience. So we won't go through each individual relic. Let me know in the comments if you do want to take a look at each relic and their abilities. Maybe a 3-star versus a 4-star, what the difference looks like. A rank 1 level 2, the potency is 32.10 for 9 seconds versus a 4-star is 71.26 for 9 seconds. So a 4-star is going to be definitely a little beefier than a 3-star. Let's see. 81.52 for 7 seconds at a level 10 on a 4-star. She has different runes. Interesting. So the 3-star has more rune availabilities than the 4-star. Or perhaps it limits the runes based on which character. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. That's just a weird little side thought that I had. And I think, it's going to be locked regardless of what champion you have it on. Anyway, that's Relics in a nutshell, a broad overview. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was insightful. If there's anything I didn't cover that you do want to see, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions on anything I did cover that I wasn't clear about, also let me know in the comments. I can do a follow-up video, or I could, if it's a simple enough question, I could just reply in the comments if it's an answer that I know. If I don't know the answer, I will do my best to try and figure it out for you guys. Just let me know. Hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're watching this today. If you're watching it later on, then I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And anyway, signing off from my family to yours. Happy Thanksgiving, and talk to you later.